I'm Angela Forbes and I'm the fairly recent CEO of Try Australia. I've been here since August last year, and I've came into Try because I was really interested in the work that they do, particularly around early learning approach, and Try runs a number of kindergartens and childcare centres where our focus is on disadvantaged children and lifting early learning of children, because we know that's a really important time in children's lives. As part of that, we run a youth mentoring program. We have developed that into a different model than just the one-on-one mentoring. We also are now working in schools where they've been clearly identified as having students in quite significant need of assistance. And often they just think they're having fun. They might be playing basketball, they might be doing other kind of sporting or craft sort of activities, depending on the group. But in fact, the whole time there's a program logic behind it that actually starts engaging with that young person and starts helping them deal with their issues.
My name's Elsha Young and I'm a family therapist and play therapist. I've been working in this field for, over 10 years now. It's a multi-systemic team. I guess you could call Biola a bit of a one-stop shop for a lot of the families that we work with, and I think that adds a lovely warmth and a sense of safety for the families that get to come here. It's a not-for-profit service for children with additional needs, delays and disabilities. So I offer family therapy and play therapy, specifically counselling like grief and loss counselling. In regards to grief and loss, we work it's a very complex issue, and we work with it in lots of different ways. In regards to working as a disability service, a lot of the time that can be supporting parents around processing and reflecting on their hopes and things that they might have had for their child, and coming to the realisation that that might be different than what they initially thought. So a lot of my work is supporting families perhaps around a diagnosis and things like that, but also specifically I can think of a mother I'm working with at the moment whose partner is terminally ill, so supporting her and how that impacts upon her parenting, how she can be there for her children and give strategies to support them through this really difficult time.
My name's Kelly Warren. I'm the founder of Back to Basics Melbourne. Back to Basics came about through my 10-year-old daughter. She wanted to help families. For a long time we've helped the homeless, and she wanted to extend that to help families because a lot of kids were coming to school without school lunches. We've got a broad range of clients. We still are very proactive with their homeless family. Of course, they will always be a priority to us because they haven't got a home and they need a little bit extra assistance. But we help families that are just hitting hard times. We assist food-wise and food relief, and it's all about food recycling. We go and pick up food every day from the supermarkets, as well as get suppliers drop them off, but it's all about recycling the food so it's not wasted. So we let people get what they want. Back to Basics is all about bringing the community together so everyone helps each other. And with the fires, you saw that. We went to the Air Force in Sale, and coming home, we pulled down the street in Vesper Drive, and there was over 200 people in our driveway making snack packs.
Hi, I'm Charlie Spenlove, and I am the Head of Communications at Guide Dogs. And with me is Monty. Here at Guide Dogs HQ, we have been breeding and training guide dogs for over 60 years. We are one of Australia's most trusted brands, and in this beautiful location, we breed around 200 puppies every year to support our clients with low vision and blindness to achieve independence in their life. It's a very special place. It's a place where people find their lives again.
Hi, I'm Jhaneen and I'm a guide dog and mobility instructor here at Guide Dogs Victoria. I'm going to introduce you to Robin, and Robin is just nearly finished her training. She's actually going to be matched to a client next week, so then her new journey begins.
I think the reason why we got involved with Society Melbourne is that as young people ourselves, we were pretty sick of seeing the tens of thousands of young people every night in Australia experiencing homelessness. And I think particularly for me, it came from my eldest brother, who has autism and an intellectual disability, and seeing the support that he got from my parents and how that really gave him the opportunity to have the best life he could. And I thought to myself, it just doesn't make sense that that same opportunity isn't given to every single young person in Australia. Society Melbourne is the umbrella organisation that runs 5 hospitality social enterprises across Melbourne, with the purpose of investing 100% of profits into youth homelessness alleviation. So we do this through two ways. We fund a housing program that provides rental accommodation to young people at risk of or experiencing homelessness over the course of 12 months. It's a really effective program that basically allows young people to transition into private rental for the first time whilst avoiding housing stress, which is something that's really a significant contributor to youth homelessness. But primarily what we do is we run a hospitality training program that provides pathways to employment, education and training for young people that work with us. And we run that across 5 of our social enterprises. The hospitality training program has 3 modules that basically includes intensives on hospitality skills and general employability. And the real goal of it is to make sure that as our young people transition through each module and graduate from the program, they're ready for the realities of work and are a really employable individual.
I'm Bill Saunders. I'm a director of Horses for Hope. We've been helping people for 16 years with our unique equine-assisted narrative therapy. We use horses that have themselves been traumatised to help people with mental health issues. We have 10 horses. The reason we need so many is that so that participants can have a greater variety of interpersonal relationships they have to master. What we do at Horses to Hope is to set out to change that self-narrative from doom and gloom to a more positive view. Right from the very first session, we help the participant to learn new skills with the horse as a demanding but forgiving partner. We use the horse as a metaphor for every other interaction they've ever had with a difficult person. And when they say, I can't get on with so-and-so, why? Because they're always fighting with me. But you got on with this horse. How did you do that? I didn't fight with him. Why didn't you fight with him? Because you showed me how not to be aggressive. Because we're not in a consulting room as such, with just 4 walls and a couch or a seat. They have to physically get in a car and come to the farm. And that in itself is an experience, because a lot of them haven't even been on the farm before. And then, of course, when the session's over and they go back, they usually come with a carer or a parent or a special needs teacher or somebody like that. So then they will go back in the car with that person. So not only do you get them keen on the idea of coming back, but you get their key influences, seeing them in a whole new light. And then it becomes an upward spiral of what can we do this week?
I'm Tamara Wilson and I'm one of the founders of PS My Family Matters. It came from I had 3 family members that were diagnosed with mental illness within 3 months, and my house became a bit of we joke about it now, it became a bit of a psych ward. And so it was my husband and 2 of my children, and I had another child as well. And I found it really difficult to get support as a carer for my family, and because of where we live, really difficult to navigate the mental health system. So we primarily support families that are living with mental illness. And what we found is that often when people had got into hospital with mental illness, when they came out, they were really quite disconnected and had become, to an extent, a bit institutionalised, being in hospital for long periods of time, which was certainly what we had experienced as a family. And the thing that we wanted to really acknowledge was the siblings of someone with a mental illness or a child of a parent with a mental illness. So the things that we did for them were making sure that they were able to maintain a normality. So if they were involved in an after-school sport, or cubs or ballet or something like that, we would be able to fund that so that they would be able to continue. We'd have volunteers in the region that had done police checks, worked with children checks and done mental health first aid training with us, that were able to pick those kids up and take them home, so that took some of the pressure off the family, but the kids weren't missing out.
My name is Shari. I'm the child life therapist here at Very Special Kids. I've been in the role for about 12 months now, and it's a new role, so I'm privileged enough to be the very first person to step into these shoes. My role is to make sure that children feel happy and safe and comfortable during their stay in our hospice. And then I was reflecting on the things I'd just done last week with the children who had stayed with us, and that ranged from baking cookies in the kitchen to walking around the gardens here, to playing games, blowing bubbles, to singing songs and lots of rhymes, and just generally making sure that I met the unique needs of each person in the moment that they needed me, and offering the environment something for the children and the staff that could be relaxed and happy and vibrant. The Very Special Kids Hospice is a really unique space where children are separated from their families. So the respite happens for the families, and they are given very much needed time to recoup, go on holiday, to work, to do all the things that they need to do. These children are facing life-limiting illnesses, so they have a really reduced amount of time to be able to spend doing the things that they love to do. And so I really make sure that we tap into that and know what that is so we can do more of it in the time that they've got. The multisensory room is a crucial element to the services and experiences that we offer all our children. It is designed to help children regulate their emotions and feelings, but also it's designed to ensure that they've got somewhere where they can be curious and wonder and explore on their own terms. It's really the one space where they can demonstrate their individual capacities and their personalities. And it's fun. It's a fun place to hang out and be, which is absolutely vital to any child's development and enjoyment.
Skyline is the inspiration of educational psychologist John Cheetham, who understood the importance of supporting high ability, gifted and talented Year 11 and 12 students who were constrained by the circumstances of their lives, so challenges that get in the way of them being able to realise their potential. And we've been working with really bright Year 11 and 12 students who are our leaders of tomorrow, but because of their social and economic circumstances are unable to realise their potential educationally and also in career paths. And so we work with them over a 2-year intense period of masterclasses and residential programs. We provide financial support and pastoral care that wraps around them to enable them to deal with the challenges of VCE, but also the challenges of their life. And this is only possible as a consequence of the generosity of donors such as Tobin Brothers to make all of this possible. So one student last year, her name is Malaz. She graduated from Collingwood Secondary College, where she was able to achieve an amazingly strong VCE result, so much so that she has been awarded a Jane Hanson Scholarship, and this is going to enable her to be a residential scholar at Melbourne University, for her to pursue her dream of law. She wants to be a social justice lawyer. And in fact, just today, she's the voice of our young people opening the community legal year at the County Court today, representing Skyline.
Skyline has been one of the most amazing opportunities in my life. It has enabled me to speak to people that I never would have gotten the chance to speak to. It has given me confidence and helped me really step out of my comfort zone. It's also been that great support through VCE and making sure that there are people there every step of the way to make sure that you're looked after and you're cared for and that you always have someone to go and talk to.
My name's Jeremy Davies. I'm the CEO of West Side Circus, and we're a youth circus based in the Darebin area. And it's been running for well over 15 years. We actually take care of people between 3 to 25, and in that we teach circus. Circus is an amazing art form, but also it's a really great thing for people physically. It has a lot of benefits. I mean, the immediate benefit of it being fun, but also obviously the tricks are fairly challenging, and it sort of fits every personality as well. So if you're a juggler, you're the kind of person who likes to think a lot, or you might be the tumbler and you're really physical. And what we've found is that these have social benefits as well. So the longer you stay involved in the circus, the benefits sort of build up. And here at Westside, we really like to get engaged with lots of different communities. So that could be new arrivals, Indigenous people, and also people with disabilities, specifically young people with disabilities. We do work at a deaf school, but we also have a program on Sundays called My Circus. So each class, we have a ratio of participants to a trainer, and so it changes depending on the age group. A really intense thing, circus, so it can't be too many people. And the people who participate in the My Circus program have quite profound disabilities. And the program's open to their families as well. We pretty much have almost a 1-to-2 ratio, so we have one trainer to 2 clients, plus their families on top of that as well.
My name's Karen Bryant and I'm a proud Gunditjmara member of the tribe down in northwest Victoria, and my role at Northern Health is Senior Aboriginal Liaison Officer, and that role entails working with my people, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, and helping to support and advocate on them in their journey coming into hospital. So we engage with all patients that come through on a daily basis. We introduce ourselves, let them know who we are, let them know who our mob is, because sometimes we're actually a distant relation. And we look at what the issues are happening for them. So if they're in hospital, there's a physical condition to be dealt with, but on the other side, there's also social issues and emotional issues. So we help the clients understand why they're in hospital, help them navigate the hospital system, and sometimes provide material aid and support. The workshops will enable Aboriginal women to learn more about health focuses for their bodies. We want to encourage Aboriginal women to look after their bodies. Historically, Aboriginal women haven't done that so well. They've been the primary carers of our people, but we need them to invest in their bodies and to become well. And so the workshops will allow allow several hours for them to learn about health issues that may impact on them. And we'll start the healing off for those workshops with a smoking ceremony. So we'll get the women to gather around. We have a smoking ceremony garden at Northern Hospital. The workshops will give information to women about their bodies and how their bodies work. The information will encourage women how to go forward with screenings and who they can contact, where they can go, who they can talk to about some of these conditions. And we have many specialists here at Northern Health that can also assist in engaging them with our services and what can be offered.
My name's Judy Clark. I've always been interested in small housing, low carbon footprint, etc. But the idea of transition housing came when I retired, and I found this model online called Opportunity Village in the USA. And it was a community-based project that seemed to tick a lot of the boxes around empowerment of community, support of community, actually doing some good, because obviously homelessness is just about to burst out. I mean, it's a rapid increase. And then I thought that I could add our Australian part to it, which is permaculture, which was Bill Mollison, David Holmgren, so local people. So transition movement is around moving a whole community, whole village, whatever, to low carbon, low emission and compassionate social justice living. So it's a social evolution as well as an environmental evolution.
While we have the staff, the addition of the sporting equipment and having good quality sporting equipment is really important, both for safety but also so the young people feel valued, because often these young people don't get good of anything.
It'd be really helpful in regards to resources that we can offer families, perhaps storybooks for children to help explore grief and loss, or for textbooks for parents to help around these things. But I think most importantly it means that we'll be able to work with more families to support them.
But I want to buy Weet-Bix so the kids can have Weet-Bix for their breakfast. I want to buy Vegemite and peanut butter and just your spreads, and I want to buy the good sauces. You know, there's absolutely no excuse for kids to go hungry.
Over and above training our dogs and matching our dogs with our clients, we need all the everyday things that every other dog might need. So harnesses, bowls, and of course leads and collars. And that's what your very generous gift has gone towards, a very practical support for our amazing cause.
It's for a chook house, but that chook house will power our orchards and our garden, our permaculture system.
We've got a great use for the funds. We're going to use them to subsidise the cost of feeding our horses. With drought and fires and all kinds of climate change issues, we're finding that feed becomes increasingly expensive, and it's a burden on us which we need all the help we can to support.
These funds will be used for kids to continue on with activities that they're already doing. So if they're doing scouts or ballet or basketball or soccer or footy or something, and the parents are no longer able to fund that, that's where we're able to step in and help, and that's how we would use the money. for these kids.
They're going to be used really purposefully to add a couple of items to our multi-sensory room. One of those will be a therapy rocker, which is nothing we've had before. This would be a new item for VSK and one that so many of our kids will use. It's a large rocker that children can actually fit into outside of their wheelchair.
The foundation will be funding our My Circus program, which goes directly to paying the trainers so that we can have a ratio of 1 to 2 and they can actually give a really great program delivery.
Just extraordinary that we were successful in our application to the Tobin Brothers Foundation, and I want to put my hand on my heart and say thank you so very much on behalf of our students.
Thanks to the Tobin Brothers Foundation, we now know there is one less young person experiencing homelessness in Australia.